What's up everyone, MK Tom Brady here. So in this video, I want to weigh in on if Peacemaker and or the new cameo, Janet Cage, will be enough to save Mortal Kombat 1. Now there have been some small rumblings as of late that Peacemaker or the new cameo, this could be the answer. This will save MK1. Now, obviously, if this will be enough, I already knew the answer to that question. But I figured I would at least wait until I actually got to see what they had to offer before I weighed in on this. So I'm going to start with the cameo, Janet Cage here. Looks like she has some cool abilities here. You see her coming in as a summon, and then she can stay on screen and do kicks, punches, uppercuts, specials. Really cool juggles here. It probably gives you, some really cool juggle extensions, some good damage. You can probably also get good pressure if you summon this under the right circumstances. So looks to be a really cool ability there. She also has like the classic Johnny Cage nut punch where she restands you and you can apply pressure. Also looks like she has not Sonya's square wave, but something similar, some type of air punch, kind of like maybe Johnny Cage's quick jumping punch in MK1, the instant jump punch, where she can, maybe get called in off certain attacks that normally don't lead to combos, and now it will lead to juggles. And then while she's on screen, you can continue to do a multitude of attacks. So it gives her the ability to give you combos where combos are not possible, which can be pretty cool, especially if some of those options are off armored moves, and which will now become armored launchers. So I just want to tell you probably the only scenarios that are going to happen here. I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt here to this cameo and say, worst case scenario, she comes out mediocre. If that's the case, she will be used for some clickbait on YouTube and for some views on Twitch when she comes out, as new content. But other than that, she won't see any type of, competitive atmosphere whatsoever. Now, if she ends up being very, very good, you have to understand what being a very good cameo means in this game. That means that you do one or multiple versions of this. Make moves plus frames. So you're attacking, you call her out in the middle of your attacks, and your attack is finished, but you're still in block. The opponent's still in block stun from what they had to block from her. So you steal turns. So the ability to steal turns, continue pressure, where otherwise your turn would end. The ability to make unsafe moves safe, especially if it means being able to call her out and then do a ridiculously long-range, unsafe move that now the opponent has to block, but something from Janet is coming in as well, and it allows you to get in safely and for free from ridiculous ranges, as well as making unsafe moves now safe. Or another ability, which we know she has, the ability to extend combos in certain situations, or give launchers where launchers are not an option. So it looks like she's going to be able to do a multitude of these things, which will automatically just have her replace another cameo in the meta, being she can do multiple of these things and probably do it better than them. So she's just going to swap one for one. This cameo out, Janet Cage in. And that just doesn't really help the game at all. Now I want to get on to Peacemaker. Whether he's good or bad is irrelevant here. No one character will be enough to save the game because the problem with the game is it is severely lacking in depth, in playstyle diversity, in so many areas of this game. Watered down, bland, extremely simple, extremely boring. Even if Peacemaker ends up being a good character, this doesn't change the game that he's in. Sure, people will play him for a week, but then they'll go ahead and leave the game after 1 week as Peacemaker will be figured out and the game will go back to being just as boring as it ever was. What really baffles me here is that NetherRealm Studios picked this time when they are under the most scrutiny for the first time in forever, when their competition is overtaking them, to release a DLC character in which the majority of their moves are reused assets. From Terminator, RoboCop, and I want to give a shout out to Nick Ops Gaming for also pointing out Adam, as I didn't even recognize this, and I went back after I watched this video, messed around with him in Injustice 2, and saw, yep, okay, we got Adam animations in there too. So the majority of this character's assets are reused, which just goes to show not only are these two, character cameos going to be enough to save the game, because obviously no one character or cameo can do that with the state of the game right now, that their problems are beyond that. But it just shows that NRS is going to continue to take a lazy approach. Of course they reused most of the assets from previous games and previous characters. NRS will always do the least amount of work possible. They don't get it. They do not care. Period. This is not a Warner Brothers issue. This is a NetherRealm issue here. And I just don't understand. Do they not know what's happening in the game right now? You would think that they would at least see what's going on. They act as if it's business as usual, nothing to see here, nothing's going on, everything is, going according to plan, when clearly it isn't. And the fact that they are taking such a lazy approach, even to DLC characters here, you had all this development time. When all your competition produced overhauls for their previous titles, you did nothing because you were working on your new one. Street Fighter 6 came out before MK1. That studio overhauled Street Fighter 5, and their game still came out more complete than MK1, which had more dev time. And MK1 is sitting here reusing assets on new DLC characters when their game is under the most fire right now. It just goes to show there's no hope for this game. What they will probably end up doing is keeping things on par, watered down, simple, the lazy approach, up until the end of the Pro Series and the end of this entire Kombat pack. Then what they will more than likely do is try to sell you an expansion. And you'll probably have maybe one or two characters that come with that expansion, an expanded story, and another combat pack that you can get a la carte or obviously pre-order. And then they will give you minor fixes and minor changes. And for anyone that wants to mention crossplay, from what it's being reported, you will not be able to crossplay. It will not be integrated into ranked mode. It will not be integrated into casual match. It will possibly also not even be able to do King of the Hill, so which stops those people from playing in tournaments. Maybe King of the Hill could be an option. That's kind of up in the air. We're not sure yet. But it looks like the most you'll be able to do is go into a crossplay lobby and get games that way. But they will not be the crossplay feature will not be fully integrated into the game. And again, lobbies without fully integrating crossplay. NRS just shows they will continue to do the least amount of work possible to barely get by and continue to rip you off and take your money. And this is why people are so angry. And this is why this game is doomed. I don't even know if they know that they need to change. They seem completely clueless. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Always love hearing what you guys think. As usual, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more content.